Guys, so I'm back for another video, and today I want to talk about Suboxone. The first thing I want to say about Suboxone is I know that this drug has a lot of controversy. I can't say that word. It's okay. So basically, there's a lot of opinions on this drug, and I don't. If you're all gonna like say rude shit and be like, oh, it's just one drug for another, get your ass off my video, because I ain't trying to hear it. I already know everything. Like, I've heard it all about Suboxone, and the purpose of this video is just to basically give information about the drug and give some advice about the drug. That's all it is. And I really don't need anything negative on this video, because I'll just block you and you can go fuck yourself running backwards. I really don't care. So let's get started. And for all you that really do care and watch, thank you so much, because I really appreciate if anybody takes the time to watch these videos. Like, I really do, and I don't want to be mean to my viewers. I just don't want any negativity about this, because I know it's a very sensitive subject. But let's just move on. Okay, so Suboxone. Suboxone is a partial opiate agonist, and other opiates such as morphine, oxycontin, oxycodone, hydrocodone, any of those type of drugs, those are full agonists. And like I said, Suboxone's partial. Suboxone has two ingredients in it. One is buprenorphine, which that is the opiate, and it also has naloxone, and that also can be called Narcan, but it has naloxone in it, and that is the opiate blocker. What Suboxone does is it goes into your brain, the opiate receptors in your brain, or the receptors in your brain, and it blocks those. So if you are on Suboxone currently, and if you were to use, say, hydrocodone or oxycodone or anything like that, you would not feel the drug because the naloxone is blocking it in your brain, so you cannot get high. There are ways around that. You know, if you try to use a whole bunch, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm sure that people have found a breakthrough for that, but it's very dangerous. I have done it myself, and I don't recommend doing it. Another thing you need to know about Suboxone is it's a maintenance drug, and it's to help you get through your initial withdrawal period of coming off of opiates. Rather it be heroin, rather that be oxys, anything like that. Suboxone is just to help you get through the withdrawal. Because not all of us can sit in bed for how many ever weeks until we decide to get over this shit and then get out of bed. Some of us have to live our lives and take care of kids and work and go to school. We can't just be sick for weeks on end. So that's when Suboxone comes into play. Suboxone can get you high. For me personally, it did the first couple times I started taking it, but I was on a little too high of a dose. Sometimes you have to find the dose that's right for you. So you need to make sure that you have a good doctor, and you need to be open and honest with your doctor and discuss what dose that you are comfortable on. And the doctor will kind of play with you a little bit about shut up, that didn't sound right. The doctor will kind of mess around with doses and what dose to put you on, what dose is comfortable for you. Suboxone is very expensive. Luckily for me, I did get insurance a long time after I had gotten clean, so I could actually afford the Suboxone, but there was a period of time when I didn't have insurance, and I had to pay $400 for one prescription. But if you guys think about it, you're out on the street spending that much on oxys anyway, so I mean shit, at least you're putting it to something good. When you take Suboxone, you have to be in withdrawal. You cannot take your oxys and then 2 hours later try to take your Suboxone. It will throw you into immediate withdrawals, and the withdrawals will be even more intense than the withdrawals that you just get coming off of any opiate. They are very severe, and you don't want to do that because you will feel like you're going to die. This withdrawals from that is severe. Depending on what you took, you're going to need to wait at least 8 to 12 hours. If you took methadone, if you took oxycodone, if you take a Oxycontin, if you take a long-acting opiate, you're going to need probably to wait between 24 to 48 hours. Even if you're starting to feel like you're on withdrawal, you need to make sure that you have waited a long period of time because you don't want to get in more withdrawal. You know, just stick it out until the right amount of time has passed. And if you're working with the doctor will kind of guide you when to start taking it. And he'll probably want you to take it in the office so he knows how you react on it. Another thing I want to say about Suboxone is it's a very safe medication. If you try to inject Suboxone, you'll go into withdrawals. I have read a lot of things on Suboxone. People say that they've injected it and they've gotten high. You know what? Whatever. If that's the truth, I don't know. I've never injected drugs. I've always taken them orally or chewed them up. So I can't tell you on that. I wouldn't suggest trying it because who wants to go into withdrawal? Not me. Hello, that's why we're on Suboxone. So keep that in mind. And another thing I want you to realize that it is a safe drug. And the difference between methadone and Suboxone, methadone, it builds up in your system. And that's not good. Suboxone, yeah, it has a half-life of like 32 or 36 hours, but it's safe. The naloxone in the Suboxone is an opiate blocker. What naloxone does is it goes in and it blocks the opiates in your brain, or the receptors in your brain, just like I said a little bit earlier. When you are overdosing and you go to the hospital, that's what they give you is naloxone. That's what they give you is Narcan. That is what is in Suboxone. So, and I have even read on the internet where people have said Suboxone's a lifesaver, and I was thinking that it was about, getting people off drugs, but I read on the internet that this guy put on there that he was doing heroin with his buddy, and his buddy started turning blue, and he had some Suboxone that he had gotten off the street for when he was sick and he didn't have his heroin. Well, he gave his friend a little bit of Suboxone, and his friend was, boom, right back up. And his friend didn't die. Because the naloxone is what it blocks that. So that's what they give you in the emergency room when you're overdosing to save your life. I know a lot of people want to sit there and say that Suboxone's another drug it's just a drug for a drug. There's a big difference between Suboxone and other opiates. Okay, like I said, it's safe and it's very difficult to overdose on. Actually, it's almost impossible unless you mix it with alcohol or benzos. You cannot take Suboxone with alcohol or benzos because it will suppress your respiratory system. Just like any opiate, it does suppress your respiratory system, and when you continuously take drugs that depress your respiratory system, that's how you die. It slows your breathing down to the point where you just stop breathing. That's how you overdose. So, don't go mixing, okay? If you want to get sober, be serious and take it right. Don't abuse the Suboxone, because if you're going to abuse it, get off of it. Suboxone should only be used in short periods of time. There's a lot of people that use the Suboxone for a year, maybe 2 years, and you know what? If that's a plan that them and their doctor have worked out, that's fine. Doctors have to have a special license to prescribe Suboxone. You can't just go to any doctor and think you're going to get it. You have to go to a special doctor that specializes in it and that has a license to prescribe it. So, there's also a lot of coupons online that you can get to help you pay for Suboxone. So if you're having a hard time affording it, go online. I think go to Suboxone.com and there should be a coupon on there. I think it's like 40% off or something. I'm not sure. And that will kind of help you a little bit. I was on Suboxone when I got sober. When I got I was on Suboxone. for a couple months, and it saved my life. If it wasn't for the Suboxone, I would have never made it. And you know what? Yeah, I had to have a crutch to get me through those first couple months, but I still feel like I'm strong because the Suboxone didn't do anything to me. It didn't give me a high like I wanted. It didn't do anything like I wanted it to do. I just felt not sick. That's all it does. It takes you out of withdrawal. That's all it does. Some people, though, have such a high tolerance for opiates, sometimes Suboxone isn't even good enough for them. So, that's another thing. There is another thing called Subutex. I don't know, I think this may be cheaper than Suboxone, but Subutex can get you a lot higher than Suboxone, and it doesn't have the naloxone in it. I think it's just a buprenorphine. I could be wrong. I haven't done a lot of research on Subutex, but I have done a lot of research on Suboxone. I've taken Suboxone many times, and I know a lot about it. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Suboxone can work for you if you let it. Like I said, if you start abusing it, you need to talk to your doctor and you need to figure out something else or figure out what you can do. If anybody was to take a maintenance drug, I would say that they should take Suboxone over methadone, because methadone fucks you up any more than morphine or any of those other drugs. I'm sorry, but Suboxone does not. Yes, in the beginning it can get you high, but when you get on the right dose, that will stop. Methadone fucks you up. It did me. I would never recommend it to get sober. Especially somebody that's addicted to just plain... Would you shut up, cat? I'm sorry, she's loud. Somebody that's just addicted to, like, Norco, say, like, little Norco 5 milligrams, I ain't trying to suggest that you go and take methadone, because it's like you're going from fucking O'Doul's to tequila. Like, you know, that's stupid. It's like, you know, don't do that. And, yeah, you know, Suboxone is kind of like a drug for a drug. But the problem, this is how I see it. When I got sober, and let me back up. When I was thinking about getting sober, I would be like, okay, well, I'm not even going to worry about getting on the Suboxone. I'm just going to wean myself off the opiates, because that's all Suboxone does. It just weans you down until you can completely get off of opiates. That's all it does, so you don't have to go through the withdrawals. Well, the problem is, most people that are addicted to opiates, they cannot find the strength to wean off of the opiates by themselves. You know, maybe they can, but for me personally, I couldn't. And so, you know, why I liked Suboxone is it didn't get me high. I didn't want to take more. I didn't want to keep going up on my dose. I would take it, and then I would go down. Then I would take it, I would go down, and I'd go down, and I'd go down, and I'd go down until finally I didn't need it anymore. And that's what it's for. You know, I have a wonderful doctor. He has saved my life, and like I seriously, like, I love my doctor. He is awesome. He, you know, even though like me and him are just like, we have a relationship as patient and doctor, it feels more to me. Like, I feel like he really cares about me and I really care about him, and we just have a very good relationship, and like, he really has saved my life, and Suboxone has too. Like I said, you just got to use it correctly, and that's all it is. It's just you're just weaning down. You know, it helps you get through the withdrawals. I had to take care of my daughter. I could not be in bed for God knows how many weeks. You know, people say it only takes like a week to really get the opiates out of your system, but I'm sorry, it can take a lot longer, especially when you've been using hardcore for years. So, you know what? If you're considering getting on Suboxone, I would say go ahead. If you can find the right doctor and you can afford it, there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing I want to tell you is that you need to take it correctly, and if you feel yourself starting to look forward to taking it, you start noticing yourself wanting it more, you need to talk to your doctor and you need to adjust your dose, because Suboxone is not meant to go up. It's meant to go down. Yes, and in the initial beginning, you're going to need to find what dose works for you, but once you find that, you need to stick to that dose. The only thing that you need to do is go down from there. Do not go up. Go down. Unless you have a massive relapse, you know, just keep going down until you get off of it. And it takes willpower to do that because you're scared. You know, you really, really don't have anything. But you can do it. You can do it. I did it, and I know you can too. So I just wanted to kind of give a little information about the Suboxone. Like I said, I don't want any negativity about this drug. I think it's a good drug if it's used correctly. Just like any medication, as long as it's used correctly, there's nothing wrong with it. Just like painkillers, as long as they're used correctly, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, there's physical dependency, but that's any drug. That's just the way it goes. But when you wean off of it, that physical dependency decreases, and you're fine, okay? I think it's a blessing, and I would recommend it to anybody that wants to get off opiates, especially heroin or anything like that, because, yeah, it can really help you out. It really can, if you use it correctly. Just use it right. Don't fuck around with it. Take it like you're supposed to. Get off of it as quick as you can, and just go back to your normal life. And I do want to throw one more thing in there. This is kind of off topic of Suboxone. This is more like with addiction. If any of you out there have gotten sober and you've been sober for like a little period of time or a long period of time and you want to go relapse, I obviously don't suggest you do that. But listen, guys, when you get such a high tolerance for drugs and then you stop and you get clean for so long and then you try to go back to the dose that you left off on, that's how you overdose and that's how you die. So if you're going to do that, don't start off on a high dose that you were on before. You know, try to be careful. I don't suggest that you go out and relapse. God, for God's sakes, that's not what I'm saying, but Jesus, be careful. If you honestly are doing it, just don't fuck around. Like, be careful and don't relapse. You're not going to relapse. Don't do that. I just wanted to throw that out there because I know that a lot of people have overdosed from that. And yeah, so I'm going to cut this video off. Stay tuned for my next video. And thank you for watching, and I hope this video was useful, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.